Hello everyone, and welcome to my Duel Today official news channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Nicole's discovery, Dicey's double date, Harris's salvation, and the proposal error. The February 12th week spoilers for Days of Our Lives are here. Nicole Walker DiMera finds out about the work that EJ DiMera is doing. Everett Lynch and Stephanie Johnson are going on 2 dates. Harris Michaels is attempted to be saved by Trip Johnson. Teresa Donovan also starts to believe that Alex Kyriakis will pop the question. However, there could be a major misunderstanding here. The amount of work that EJ is putting in to secure justice for Holly Jonas will likely overwhelm Nicole, according to DOL spoilers for the week of February 12. Fans are aware that EJ is intentionally misleading Tate Black, who is not guilty. When Nicole discovers the real truth, will she still feel the same way about EJ's efforts? Rafe Hernandez and Jada Hunter are scheduled to go on a double date with Stephanie and Everett during the week of February 1. It is hinted at, nevertheless, that Stephanie updates Everett on the double date. Everett may at first concur, but he may try to change his mind at the last minute. Everett is in no way prepared for Stephanie to learn about his marriage to Jada. Preserving Harris. According to Michael's daytime soap opera spoilers for the week of February 12, Trip will try desperately to save someone's life. Harris is most likely the person in this life because he was shot during the Friday, February 9, 2024 episode. Rafe questions Stefan DiMera and Ava Vitali as Trip tries to save Harris. The news that Clyde Weston, James Red, is making good on his threats will shock Ava and Stefan. This might be the person who set the Horton house on fire with an arsonist. DiMera Chad homelessness will be experienced by Doug Williams, Julie Williams, Thomas DiMera, and Charlotte DiMera. Maggie Horton Kyriakis, thankfully, makes sense of them all. Paulina Price bemoans ruining Chanel Dupree's wedding day throughout the week of February 12. Wendy Shin discusses Ava's actions with Rafe and Jada. Teresa is certain that Alex will pop the question, but is she wrong? John Black and Marlena Evans have a picnic in the interim. Kayla Johnson and Steve Johnson, Stephen Nichols, talk about their past. Xander Cook believes that Sarah Horton no longer needs him. Leo Stark also ruins Sloane Peterson Brady's family time once more. Which plotline from the upcoming week of February 12 are you most excited to see? Post your ideas in the space provided for comments below. Don't forget to keep watching Peacock soap opera to see what happens next. Adoration is a substance. Every fan of Days of Our Lives has a different perspective, and Soap Hub is no exception. We sat and watched the good, the horrible, and everything in between for 5 days. We take the lead here with hope. Regretfully, we don't always achieve our goals. Here's a recap of the past week, which included a busy week leading up to Valentine's Day. John and Marlena. It hasn't been the best of weeks for John. As far as he knows, during a tumultuous exchange between them, John learned the reason for Constantine's desire for vengeance. Since the pawn parted ways with a woman who held significant meaning for him. He can't even recall the point where Constantine used an absurd tarot card to manipulate him. John is stressed out by this encounter and is also lying to his wife. However, he is guilty of that reality. Marlena reminded her husband why she loved him so much during their later conversation. From my perspective, days ought to contain more small moments like these. I thought the two had a really wonderful, reflective talk. Johnny and Chanel. Johnny feared that his marriage to Chanel would ultimately cause her pain. After all, it's the DiMeras curse. However, they had a sensible digression into other subjects, such as Allie, during their conversation. She'll always be a question mark in their relationship. Additionally, she deserves an exclamation point because her mere presence could have unsettling effects. In any case, Chanel had to tell Johnny that she was enough for him and that they were in this together for the long run. Thank you for reminding me that Valentine's Day is Stephen Nichols, and Kayla's anniversary. Never should this be left unsaid. Sarah and Xander are also in a different location. They might have a child together and live together. However, they haven't gotten together yet. Despite the fact that Sarah clearly wants this. Xander, on the other hand, wants it, but something is getting in the way. And it's possible that the Friday cliffhanger gave us a glimpse of it. Friday's best cliffhanger ever, holy hell, was unleashed on the town of Salem by last week's cliffhanger. On paper, the Harris gets shot and the Horton house fire was a nice way to cap off a Friday. In my opinion, it would be fantastic if the show continued to do this. It did, however, entail setting the Horton house on fire. It's awful to think that it might disappear because there is so much history there, both good and tragic. Julie's explanation of the house's past and its previous tenants was fascinating to me. Positively, it also increased the stakes in the drug story. And that's a positive aspect. In general, I support POV. For everybody. The backstories of the characters intrigue me. I enjoy learning about their past, present, and future plans. The issue is that I've heard far too much from Stephanie, Abigail Klein, at least when it comes to her perspective. We are informed of every little thing regarding Everett. And for me, it's a little too much. Reducing their involvement would be fantastic. Stefan and Ava, I won't pass too much judgment because this was only a one-night stand between Ava and Stefan, ideally a one-time occurrence. They may be overdoing it, in my opinion, if the goal of this hookup was to cause drama when Gabby eventually returns. Gabby was just sent back to prison for a crime that she did not commit. There'll be enough to play when she gets out. Goldman, who had just taken Jada's first life while on duty, was the one to whom she related the tale of her first police kill. I adore this, and that's what I'm talking about. Harris and Ava. We should all feel justified, in my opinion, in speculating that Ava told Harris everything and that they are pursuing a different path from Ava and Stefan. Alex and Kristen. First off, how familiar are these two with one another? I cannot for the life of me recall them interacting much. It was intriguing, nevertheless, that they did so at this time. They came up with a somewhat yawn-worthy scheme to keep Brady and Teresa apart. However, right now I'm attempting to determine whether Alex and Kristen have chemistry. Jada and Rafe at work. It would be an understatement to say that the Salem police force is incompetent on days of our lives. When was the last time an offender was apprehended? The appropriate criminal? For the appropriate offense? It has been a long time. The SPD is so close to being untrustworthy. That's why it was so good to be reminded of Rafe and Jada's strengths. They make decent police officers. At least in one specific way. A large drug shipment intended for Clyde's lieutenants was intercepted by the Salem Police Department in the middle of the drug epidemic that has already left Holly, Ashley Puzimis, in a coma, sent Tate, Jamie Martin Mann, to rehab for a problem he doesn't have, and allegedly affected a great number of other citizens we don't know or care about. But throughout it all, Officer Goldman was compelled to pull her gun, fire it, and murder a suspect for the first time. Or run the chance of dying herself. Goldman was heartbroken. At that point, Rafe and Jada had their opportunity to shine. Under the circumstances, they turned out to be everything you would want in a boss and supervisor. Above everything, they maintained their composure. They were understanding, kind, and supportive. Their sequences together were some of the most captivating of the week, and they helped Goldman feel better. Rafe and Jada are frequently depicted as clumsy police officers or a cutesy pair who have so far been able to avoid encountering Everett, Jada's ex, who lives in the same town. Observing them at work, excelling in their roles, and being genuinely kind individuals was a delightful experience. Goldman is unlikely to forget their generosity. And we won't either.